a business person was complaining about the negative interest rates across Europe and acting as if it was the most absurd thing he had ever heard of.
Right. So this exposes the fact that fiat money, the U.S. dollar, is the same as a frequent flyer mile. Right. The airline gives you frequent flyer miles to get you to come and fly more, and they have the ability to, as they're doing now post COVID, rapidly debase them to prompt you to go buy a flight. And in the
Sure.
U.S. economy, they give you trillions of dollars worth of these coupons, U.S. dollars, to cycle into the economy, hoping you're going to spend them. They don't want you to save them because just like the airlines don't want you to save these frequent flyer miles, they want you to use them to get more into the economy of the airline. And so it really just shows that the fiat money world and the U.S. economy and the global economy is set up purely for corporations, and they print all the fun coupons to allow people to buy the corporate products. And so it's an amusement park. We used to have S&H green stamps when I was a kid.
Mm.
You know, you go to the grocery store and you get these green stamps and you put them in a book. And when you get 100 books, you can buy a toaster, right? It's like, it's just it's a gaming currency. Like in the 1990s in the dot-com world, we had lots of gaming currencies, a lot of online games. So what they want to do is they just want to, they're coming out and they're saying, you know, we're not even going to pretend anymore. We don't want you to save money. You don't have any sovereignty. You don't have any privacy. You don't have freedom of speech. This is a casino gulag. You know, here are your chips, and you go spend them in our casino, but you can't leave the gulag. We're going to survey you. We're going to keep tabs on you. We're going to harass you. We're going to shut down your freedom of speech. No freedom of defense, no sovereignty. We're going to put you in the gulag, in the prison, to shop, and you shop all day with our free fun coupons. So this is where we're at. I mean, this is happening. This is what their agenda is. They were prompted by Bitcoin to do this on a more accelerated pace because they now realize that Bitcoin is, as Christine Lagarde calls it, the escape hatch. So they're like, you know, we got to move on this because otherwise we might have people actually saving hard money and being self-sovereign and enjoying freedom of speech, and that would kill our business model.
Yeah, you often say that you can't taper a Ponzi, and that's also what we're seeing with this digital dollar is like the way to extend that the the fiat dollar is kind of at its end, right? It's 50 years old as of August 15th, which is fast approaching. And now they need a new kind of scheme to roll up all that debt into and roll up the Ponzi into. Um, I think it also like it's weird that it's coming right at the time where allegedly they're trying to deal with the equity issue. They keep on talking about this equity, the fact that this Ponzi scheme of 1971 started in 1971, the fiat dollar, and whoever was in their prime working years had many assets and things like that, or businesses that they owned at that time. If you were first in on that Ponzi, of course, 50 years later, you're magnificently wealthy for not much, all that much effort. So the equity of it, like women didn't have much a role in the economy before then. Uh, African Americans, of course, were excluded by Jim Crow up until the 1960s. So they're trying to say that they're going to do something to restore some sort of equity to the situation, and yet here they're saying at the same time we're introducing this digital dollar whereby you can't possibly save. So there's no way for you to even it's a way to exclude the competition in my mind.
Right. Equity is just the propaganda, right? There's no equity. It's just a feel good word. It's a buzzword.
Mm.
It's like, you know, doctors used to promote cigarettes back in the 1950s as being healthy for you, you know, and we're constantly push things that are wrong, bad for us, unhealthy for us. And they put it under some propaganda. You know, it's equity, it's equality, it's ESG, right?
Mm.
That's how you sell stuff, right? You got to sell stuff. It's a consumer economy. Most the economy in the United States and around the world is a consumer economy. And starting with Edward Bernays, post World War II, all of the consumption is driven by subliminal persuasion and psychological warfare. And, the thing is that in an economy like the US right now, you have essentially a, a demand shock on top of the supply shock. So you had the cheap money provide a supply shock of, a supply of goods.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were stacking up. Cars were just stacked up in parking lots. People, there more cars than ever would be bought. Um, and then all that fiat money was coming around and the GDP aspect of it was not really growing in a meaningful way, and they kept stimulating with more of this free money until the point where people started, they just didn't care anymore. So that became a shock to the system. So the way that they're going to get people to care to buy stuff is by giving the money an expiration date. So, here's $1,000 stimulus check. Here's a $10,000 stimulus check, and it expires in 18 months. You have to spend it now or it expires in 18 months. So, and by the way, here's a list of stuff you can buy. So it's literally like a .com gaming currency where, here's your free virtual money and here's the store where you can buy stuff. And we've got deals with every product in that store. You can't use the money we give you to buy Bitcoin. You can't use it to buy gold. You can't use it to buy anything that's going to appreciate in value unless you subscribe to America Prime, right? If you're willing to pay an annual fee, America, the subscription model, then you can buy stuff other than what's on our pre-programmed list, right? And so that's, that they're managing everybody like this gaming environment, which is this casino gulag environment. The vast majority, probably over 90% of the population, will be living literally in this virtual gaming environment, just clicking on ads to get protein pills to survive another 5 hours. And that's how most people are going to live. That's how most people live now. But it's not done efficiently. It's done inefficiently. So if somebody might live like that for a year or so, develop great, incredible neuroses, go to the psychiatrist, get pills for it, but they don't really see the economics of it. But here, the economics are ripped open for everybody to see, and everyone will accept it. They'll be like, you know what? I feel much better now that I know that I'm just living on, Farmville 2.0 for Mark Zuckerberg, and I just give me my protein pill, and I'm fine with that because I've never known a reality different, right? And once you get past 20 years of this, there's no memory. The generation that remembers it is gone, and you have bred in a test tube baby of online gaming a new population of wage slaves, of pill slaves, of virtual currency slaves, and so we're we're going to get into it. By the time, let's say, it really takes hold in 20 years, I'll be in my 80s. I mean, I'll tell stories about the way it used to be, and people will be like, okay, Grandpa, that's great. Time to get you to bed.